make them less real, their manes streaming in the wind as they raced about joyfully, unseen, unheard, unthreatened by the petty hatreds of humankind. It would be a long time before spring came to those heights, but the snow was already beginning to melt on the hillsides. The gold cross and red-tiled roof of an old Serbian Christian church stood out starkly against the grays and browns of late winter. Why did the Serbs hate us so? Though, to be honest, most Albanians hated the Serbs just as fiercely. Some of the girls at school could, and would, recite terrible poems against the Serbs. She could never understand hate like that. Baba had always taught them to respect, not to hate. But he was not like other people. Even now, just a few feet away, her two little brothers were playing war. Was that fun? It must be. They played it every day, although they knew Baba disapproved. She tried to think of spring and blossoms and the return of birdsong to the garden. Adil's yell broke her reverie. "Meli, tell Isuf I'm the KLA man." "No," Isuf said with the practiced authority of the older brother. "You're a Serb. I'm the KLA soldier." "Meli," Adil begged. "Isuf always makes me be a Serb policeman. Tell him to let me be the KLA man. It's my turn." Meli sighed, keeping her eyes on Vlora's frilly new dress as she took it off the line. She wouldn't want to drop it. The ground was still muddy. "Stop fighting, boys. If you can't take turns, find some other game to play." It was Mehmet's fault. Their older brother was convinced that the Kosovo Liberation Army would soon save the Albanians. No matter what Baba said, Mehmet worshipped the KLA. Baba said they were more legend than fact, but Mehmet was convinced they were simply biding their time, waiting for a chance to free Kosovo from Serbian domination. Even Mr. Uka, pointing to the picture on their classroom wall of Skandar Beg, the Kosovar's 15th century hero, predicted that out of the KLA would arise a new Skandar Beg, who would liberate Kosovo. She must have heard the familiar rattle and roar without realizing it, Uncle Fadil's ancient Lada Niva. Baba, as elder brother of the Lleshi family, had tried to convince him to sell it and buy a new tractor, but Uncle Fadil had refused. The Lada suited him. He had taken out the back seat so he could load the car for market. 10 years of carrying vegetables, chickens, and the occasional goat had not dealt kindly with the old Russian-made vehicle. It was something of a family joke. "Well," Mehmet would say, "you can always tell when Uncle Fadil is arriving. If not by the noise, then certainly by the smell." But the truth was, Meli was distracted, and she wasn't aware that the car had driven up until the brakes squawked, and it pulled to a stop on the street in front of the store. She dodged under the clothesline and ran around the edge of the building to see. Yes, it was Uncle Fadil's car, but what was it doing here in the late afternoon? He should be home milking his cow and goats at this time of day. "Isuf, Adil, run into the store and tell Baba that Uncle Fadil is here," Meli said. "I don't want to go in. It's my turn to be the KLA man." Just then the driver's door opened. It took Uncle Fadil 3 tries to get it slammed shut again. Meanwhile, the passenger door opened, and his wife stepped out onto the curb. Why had Auntie Burburshe come and left Granny alone on the farm? She never did that. "Come on, Adil. Let's get Baba." Isuf's eyes were wide with fear. Even at 8, he was old enough to realize that something was dreadfully wrong if both his aunt and uncle arrived unannounced. A chill went through Meli. She called out to her uncle, "Is Granny all right?" Uncle Fadil looked up, startled. "Granny? Yes, of course." So it was something else. I'll tell Mama you're here," Meli said, and raced around the building and up the outside stairs to the apartment above the store before slipping off her shoes at the door. Before long, the whole family was assembled in the parlor. Uncle Fadil and Auntie Burburshe took the 2 upholstered chairs, while Baba, Mama with Vlora on her lap, and Mehmet sat on the couch. Adil and Isuf propped themselves against